Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond the Realms, and today I am going to be reviewing the remake of Halloween. Yes indeed, Rob Zombie's Halloween. I'm going to need a drink before you can start this. Got some Yingling going on here. Jars. Guys, did this film ever need to be remade? I mean, is there a single person on this planet that says, oh yeah, it's a great idea if they remade the original Halloween, because it just sucks. I don't think there's one person ever in the history of the world that said that, but lo and behold, we did get a remake in 2007 of Halloween. Now, there was a lot of talk about this film. I mean, remakes were becoming the norm at this time, but it wasn't so saturated as it is nowadays to where people were really numb to them, I don't think. And this film actually had quite a bit of buzz because, Rob Zombie was coming off the high of The Devil's Rejects going into this. So, there was a lot of anticipation, actually. I mean, a lot of people dreaded it, but I think there was actually a lot of horror fans that were looking forward to this. I myself, I was looking forward to seeing what he would do with it. When I first heard he was announced to do this, I thought that it was the wrong idea for him to do this right off the bat. Like, his style just didn't fit this type of film. Which is ironic because, he talked way back in like 2003, 2004, probably 2004. It's like right after the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake came out, he talked about how they had approached him of doing a remake of that. And actually it would have made much more sense for him to do a remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre than this because his style fits it so much more perfectly. But he changed his mind. Actually, at that time, he said he would never do a remake. Well, people change. People say things they don't mean, whatever, I mean, I kind of got over on harping him over that. But he did end up doing this remake, and I went and saw opening night. When you see this the first time, at least for me, I didn't really know what to think totally about it. I thought that it was kind of cool, but I mean, it just automatically just doesn't live up to this. I mean, I just don't even know why they try. I mean, it's all about the almighty dollar. I mean, as soon as you see this, you can tell that. I mean, there's no other reason for doing this. You can't improve upon this. I mean, for fuck's sake, there's no way you can improve upon this. Rob Zombie's just basically trying to make his own interpretation of the Halloween of Michael Myers. He says that he looks at Michael Myers kind of like a Frankenstein character, and this is his take on it. Well, I don't know. The first half of this film, I think it works decently. I mean, it's unneeded. It's totally unneeded. You're seeing Michael Myers' childhood. And, I mean, there's a lot of laughable parts in it. I just recently rewatched this for the hell of it. It's getting into the Halloween season. And, I've been going back and revisiting all the Halloween movies, actually earlier this year. I've done it here in September, and I'm probably going to do it again coming up in October. But, I went back and rewatched this, and, guys, that opening dinner scene with William Forsythe and Sherry Moon, and then, of course, Michael, and you got Hannah Hall comes in there. It's awful. I mean, it's always been awful, but it's even more, it's worse now. It's so bad, it's so over the top and just so ridiculous. I mean, there's nobody that could watch this and possibly think that, man, it's no wonder Michael did what he did. I mean, it's just horrible. It's so over the top. Have you ever seen anybody ever act that way? I mean, when William Forsythe's going off and, purge my snork all over those flappy-ass tits, and, Hannah Hall comes in, she got a nice dumper on her, and then knocking shit off the table. I mean, come on, man. No family's that extreme. I mean, there's some redneck families out there, no doubt about it, but come on, that is just so extreme. It just doesn't work. It just, and it hasn't aged well. I mean, it looks so much more horrible now than what I remember it being. It's just bad. And then, you go on from there, and it gets to where Michael's going to go trick-or-treating and it's playing the Love Hurts song. It's just, man, it's head-shaking bad stuff, man. I mean, it just, you know, but there's some stuff that's kind of cool, you know, like when he beats down the kid with the stick. I mean, you know, I thought that part was kind of cool. The bathroom, you know, intimidation scene where the kids are trying to intimidate young Michael. I thought that was kind of cool. You know, there's some cool stuff that goes on in the first half of this film, but then it gets to the second half and it's just bad. I mean, right off the bat, you know, you can clearly tell that Danielle Harris and that Christina Cleve or Cleve, whatever her name is. You can clearly tell that they're older than Scout Taylor Compton. Like, she's the only one that really looks young. Like, Danielle Harris is what, 30? She's 30 years old when this movie was filmed, and you can clearly tell that she's older. You know, just that doesn't work, and it's just the whole layout of the whole film in the second half. It's basically a greatest hits of this. I mean, you know, you've got the part where he's following home. I mean, it just goes on and on. It just takes like the best moments out of this and tries to recreate them, but there is no tension whatsoever. There's no build up. There's no scary moments, and that's the biggest flaw of this film, I think, in general. Is there's zero scary moments. There's no tension whatsoever. Not one time. I mean, let alone, you don't care for the characters to begin with, but then also there's just no tension to any of what they try to build up in this. You don't feel anything for any of the characters, and that's where Rob Zombie fails. Like, I've heard Rob Zombie flat out say, I don't know how to scare people. Well, with this film it shows. You don't, Rob Zombie, you don't know how to scare people. I mean, yes, you do have a visual style. There is no doubt Rob Zombie has a distinct visual style to his look, and I think that's his biggest strength, and I think that's why he is still able to continue to make films, is he does have a visual style to his films, but he just needs to try to stay away from films that should be scary. Like, this film should at least try to be scary, and when I watch this, I don't see it. I don't see this film, I don't see him ever trying to make Michael Myers scary in this. Maybe he did, and it just didn't come off at all. But I don't even see it. So I totally agree with you, Robbie. You don't know how to make a scarier film, so don't even try anymore. And I mean, I'm sorry for people that enjoy this film, because it just blows my mind. I do know of a few people that actually like this over the original, and that just, oh my God, I don't know. I know some people kind of. Like Headbanger, you know, if you go back and watch the Friday the 13th video, and I say, you know, I like the remake more than the original Friday the 13th, it just really agitates him. And I can understand that feeling, because that's how I feel about this. This is just such an amazing classic, and this is just such a failure, you know, in comparison. In all regards, just a failure. You know, but one thing I have to mention about this, there was a... what was it called? The work print version of this that leaked online. It came out not too long after this film was released, maybe like right around the same time. And I got my hands on a copy of that, and I have to say the work print version of this is so far superior from the theatrical cut or this isn't director's cut, right? This is the unrated cut. Ooh. The work print is just so far superior to any other version of this I've seen. And what's most amazing about that is Rob Zombie just doesn't even acknowledge it. I've seen interviews with him where he's talked about this, and he talks about the so-called work print version. Rob, the work print version is the one you should have put out. Like, the ending was awesome to that, I thought. Like, Michael dies at the end. He's shot, he dies, and there's a voiceover of young Michael talking to Loomis, and it works. And there's so much other little things like that are different that just makes more sense in that work print version. I mean, granted, it's still not scary, it still has no tension, but it does improve upon a lot of the flaws that this version and the theatrical version has. But he just doesn't even acknowledge that version. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So if you guys have seen the work print version, you know, let me know your thoughts on that, or, you know, which version you think is the best one of this, if you do like it at all. Because I'm really interested to see what people think, you know, especially you know, 5 years after this has had time to settle in and sink into our thoughts. What are your thoughts on this film? I myself, I don't think that it's aged well. I mean, I never thought it was a great film, but even going back and watching it now, I just think it's, I don't know. I think that this film is going to be very laughable 10 years from now. Like, it's almost there now, really. I mean, it actually, some parts really are. Like, and then here's a prime example, too. I don't know if you can see that. When young Michael is chasing Lord, or whatever Hannah Hall's name is in this, and he's got the Michael Myers mask on. That part has just always been hilarious to me. Like, even the first time seeing it. And it's even funnier now. It's like all the parts that were bad in this are just amplified 5 years later. So I can't imagine what we'll think 10 years from now. Whereas this film only gets sweeter with time. This film only gets worse with time, I think. So, guys, I give this film a 5 out of 10. And, you know, I've kind of went back and forth on that rating. Like, I think it actually probably deserves a little bit lower rating than that. Because it's not a good film at all. The first half, like I said, I can enjoy that for what it is, even though it's unneeded, but it's much better than the second half of this film. So that's why I give it a 5 out of 10. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else I can say about this film. You know, this is an older film to review, but I figured since it's getting into the Halloween season, I just rewatched this and never reviewed it. Why not do it now? So, if you would, please let me know your thoughts on this film. And if you do like this more than the original, please leave a comment and let me know why. You know, I will be totally respectful in my reply back, but I'm just really interested. If somebody likes this more than the original, I want to know why, you know, because like I said, I know of a few people that said that before, and I always want to know the reason behind it, because I totally can't understand it myself, but I'm intrigued by that, you know. So, yeah, guys, this is Rob Zombie's Halloween. I am Jason. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one. Later.